Debt. Most households these days have problems with their finances due to excessive debt. It's a common and prevalent problem that affects people, whole households, and various different organizations. This is Income Intelligentsia, real life tips for practical and financial targets. Today we want to talk about debt and how to get rid of it with simple steps to do so. Let's get to it. Debt, for the most part, isn't always bad. Good debt is used to invest in passive income streams, real estate, educational opportunities, and many more that allows you to fulfill your daily needs. However, the kind of debt that we want to avoid, or in this case, pay off, is personal debt. Debt that you get from buying luxuries and needlessly spending with reckless abandon. Debt is a useful tool that helps you advance towards your goals, provided you do it responsibly and are able to leverage it to more opportunities for yourself. First, we want to start off with understanding your debt. You need to know what you actually owe and who you owe it to. Now, what you want to do is check where you owe debt to and how much you owe. Generally, you'd want to know the list of the biggest amount of debt as well as the smallest. This is to give you a proper view of how you're going to be able to chip away at it and know what you're going to prioritize paying off first. Checking your balances as well as the interest rates for your debt is crucial to maximize your time in paying your debts while also minimizing the amount of interest you have to manage in the long run. Now, after checking and analyzing how much money you owe and who it should go to, it may be intimidating to see how much of your money should go towards paying off your debts. It's important to know that you've taken the first step to repayment, and it will only get better from here on out. Getting into a good mental space before proceeding to make financial decisions is key to being able to move forward with your goals. Now that you've gathered the appropriate information and stabilized your mental well-being and attitude towards repayment, you have to be able to track how much money comes and goes. One of the most important things towards chipping away at your debt is to actually allocate money towards repayment. Now, knowing what we know from the first step, we take it a step further by checking our budget and understanding what we want from what we need. In order to pay off our remaining balance, we need to make adjustments to our daily life, be it cooking in order to save money on takeout or just making your coffee at home. Understand that there are things in life that you can classify as non-essential and thus can be reduced or cut off. It's no easy feat to make lifestyle changes, especially if they're ones you've been accustomed to for years. However, if the goal is to be debt-free, then these changes to your lifestyle help out a lot. Many different things in our daily lives aren't tracked as easily due to the smaller price points that they cost us. These could be little things like fast food, clothing on sale, and many other things that you may not readily consider when budgeting. It's easy to miss out on these things because you're not being charged in bulk, so the average person would just chalk it up to daily expenses without even realizing if they've gone over the daily budget or not. You need to be able to have a keen eye over these things and not make exceptions no matter how small of a purchase it may be. Most people don't realize it, but all those small purchases add up and they end up being one of the main reasons why people can't seem to cut off luxuries. What we advise here is to make a list of priorities that you must have in your life. These things can vary from food, basic clothing, your utility bills, all the things that you need to make sure you have a roof above your head and you're physically healthy. What we want to cut off are non-essentials like streaming services subscriptions, newer gadgets, etc. We want to be able to make sure that we're allowing ourselves to be fiscally responsible first and pay off debts as soon as possible before being able to enjoy the finer things in life. We want you to have the mindset that your priority is to pay off your debt as soon as possible when you have the means to do so. That said, another thing that you may want to do is to consolidate your debt so you can tackle one big problem instead of multiple little ones. The idea here is to know one thing that you need to pay off instead of worrying about forgetting other debt repayments that you haven't started with yet. What we advise here is to get a low interest loan to pay off all your smaller debts so you can just focus on the remaining one that you have. Alternatively, you can also opt for a credit balance transfer if you can. As long as you're able to monitor it more easily, the better it will be for you. Another way to do so is to try the snowball method, popularized by known businessman Dave Ramsey. The idea there is to pay off the smaller loans first before proceeding to the bigger ones. The psychological boost that you get from crossing off things from your list empowers you to take on the bigger debts in your list and handle them with the same discipline that you had with the smaller loans. A different approach to tackling loans is to check the interest rate instead of the overall balance. This helps in making sure that the total repayment amount that you need for all your debts is substantially lower than letting debt interest accumulate over time. As simple as these tips are, it's not always easy to do. And if all else fails, the best possible thing to do to handle debt is simply make more money. You can do it in a variety of ways that fit your needs and according to your circumstances, be it a promotion or a side hustle or a part-time job. There's no other way to go about it but just power through and make more money. With that in mind, as long as it's reasonable on your end and you're consistent with being able to do it, you'll be able to pay off your debts in no time. By no means do we think of debt as a purely bad thing. It's a wonderful thing, but everyone needs to be mindful of how they use it and for what purpose it would serve you. Debt is a double-edged sword that demands discipline, careful evaluation, and commitment to proper financial management. And while it would be nice to be debt-free, it's always good to utilize what we have access to. It helps you achieve certain financial goals, and it can also be useful to bail you out from certain situations. To summarize, it's important to distinguish between good debt used for investment purposes and bad debt acquired through unnecessary spending. To get out of debt, the first step is to understand and analyze the debt owed, including the amounts and interest rates. Budgeting and making lifestyle adjustments are crucial. Tracking and controlling smaller expenses are important as they can add up and hinder debt repayment. Next, consolidating debt or using the snowball method, which is paying off smaller debts first, can help simplify and manage debt repayment. Lastly, the flip side to spending less is earning more through promotions, side hustles, or part-time jobs to accelerate the debt repayment process. One very important thing to take note of is, while that's all the case, it'll always ultimately be up to you to manage it. It always starts with you, and now that you've reached the end of the video, we're glad to know that you've taken the first step towards solving this problem. If you've enjoyed this video and found this helpful, please hit the like and subscribe button. We'd like to be able to grow alongside you, and we're pumped to have you in our next video. Stay mentally healthy, and let's get financially fit together.